G'day everyone. If we haven't met before, my name's Sam. Welcome to the channel. If you're interested in practicing yoga and you love free, high quality yoga stuff, then make sure to subscribe to the channel. Today we are going to run through a wrist and arm warm up for the yoga practice. So the joint of the wrist is rather small and we spend a lot of time on it and we ask it to bear a lot of load throughout the yoga practice. So this is just going to be a series of my favorite warm-ups to getting to not just the wrists, but the forearms as well, into the palms, the fingers, and the upper arms as well. So a bit of a stretch through the biceps and activation through the triceps. So when you're ready, we'll get right into it. So we're going to get right into the work today. And the good news is, for you, this is probably the first time you're doing this video. For me, I'm refilming it because the lighting was all wrong last time, and I have to tell you, it really gets the arms pumping, so look forward to that. First things first, you're gonna find a comfortable seat. So I'm sitting back on the heels here, you can take a cross-legged seat, whatever works for you. Start by reaching the arms up and overhead and work to straighten them to the best of your ability right now. So we don't want them to look like this, but if straight is not working, take a little bend in the elbows, all good in the hood. We're going to open the hands as wide as we can as we take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, squeeze your fists really tight. Nice work. Do that again. Inhale, open your hands really wide. Exhale, squeeze the hands really tight. And if you can, keep the breath that same speed, just speed up the movement in your hands. So inhale and exhale. Make sure you're still opening as well as closing. Breathe in and let it out. So let the hands just continue to speed up. Make sure you don't neglect the opening portion of that movement as well. We're just going to be here for 15, 14, keep the arms nice and straight, 13, for 12, 11, 10, for 9, 8, 7, the fingers will stop working soon, for 6, for 5, keep opening, for 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Let the arms hang down by the side, give them a little chance to shake out. Now, I got to tell you, I really hope everything works out perfectly with this recording because I do not want to do that a third time. You may start to see some veins that weren't in those forearms before. From here, I'm going to tuck the toes under, send the hips back towards the heels, and work to turn your fingers so they face towards your knees and press your palms down into the floor. So the closer your fingers are to your knees here, the less intense this stretch is going to be. What I mean by that is if you walk the arms further out in front of you, the extension through the wrist joint is going to be amplified. So start with the fingers nice and close, just sit the hips back towards the heels. Toes are going to stay tucked. It'll give you a bonus stretch underneath the toes there. So if this feels okay, you can start to wiggle your hands out just a little further forward, just increasing that extension in your wrist joint. Arms are working to straighten if that's available for you. And if you feel like there's space to take this further, we'll try one at a time. We're going to bend the right elbow and see if your right palm will lift, but the fingers stay grounded. So, moving from side to side just to stretch out through the four fingers there. Now be mindful, if your hand and your fingers don't look exactly like mine, I will let you know I am slightly hypermobile in the fingers and the wrists, so yours probably will not look like mine, nor should it, because it's your hand, it's your wrist. It'll look perfect for you. Drop the right hand down, bend the left elbow, lift the left palm off. Again, just move from side to side gently. And stretch through the fingers. And for a moment, take the fingers to the floor and just push the knuckles down into the earth. So you're just giving your knuckles, the base knuckles of the fingers, a little chance to stretch out there. Then if you can, press your thumbs into the earth and start to turn your palms out to either side of the room. So you're just stretching into the thumb joint here. And then bring your thumb in between your fingers there. Knuckles press on the earth for just a moment. We won't be there for long. We don't want to put too much pressure on that thumb. Then open the hands, give them a little chance to wiggle. Then again, fingers will face towards the knees, back of the hands will rest on the mat. Now, very, very gentle. We don't want to just smash all our weight down into the back of the hand here, so we do very gentle. Maybe even your elbows are bending to start with. So this flexion through the wrist joint is super duper important and also very, very uncommon in the yoga practice. There's not many poses where we're finding flexion through the wrist joint. So that's why it may feel a little uncomfortable and we don't want to put too much pressure to start with. If it does feel comfortable, I encourage you to straighten your arms and then perhaps wrap your biceps towards the front of the room so that external rotation through your upper arm bone will intensify the stretch through the inner part of your wrist there. And my favorite part of this setup, from here, see if you can make a fist. You'll notice the fingers do not work as well as they normally do. So we're just going to close the fist and open the hands. I use the phrase, close the fist, really, really loosely because it'll be really challenging to make a full fist, but your fingers are working a little bit here. Let's do that for another 10, 9, speed it up, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to untuck the toes here. Sit the hips back to heels, then interlace your fingers, really, really loose here, so we're not smashing the fist together, just fingers are barely touching, palms are barely touching. You're just going to roll out your wrists super gently, taking almost this figure 8-like shape. Maybe 10 in one direction and 10 the next, just to give yourself some freedom in the wrist joint. And then from here, we're going to push the walls apart. So spread your arms out really wide. Wrap your biceps up towards the ceiling. So as you wrap the biceps up, the palms will start to face up. Now from here, see if you can keep your palms facing up. Keep your biceps facing up. That's what I meant to say. And then spin your palms so they're face down. So trying not to internally rotate at the upper arm bone. So biceps wrap up, palms face down, and then see if you can extend your wrist joint, so palms will press out to either side. Push the walls apart, shoulder blades will spread, and then spread your fingers out as wide as you can. If done correctly, you'll feel quite a nice stretch from the shoulder joint, down the bicep, all the way down through the forearm, maybe even into your index finger, if those fingers are spreading out nice and wide. Take a breath here. As you exhale, make a fist. Then flex at the wrist joint. So now the backs of your hands will face to either side of the room. And then open your fingers. Instead of spreading them this time, we'll have the fingers pointing together and it's pointing down towards the floor. Again, spread the walls apart. From here, dropping left ear over towards left shoulder. And allowing your right arm to drop just 45 degrees. Spinning the fingers so they point up for a second. And extending at the wrist joint. Deeper stretch through the bicep, through the neck. And bring your head back to center. Bring your right arm back to where it was. And drop your right ear over towards your right shoulder. Drop your left arm 45 degrees. Spin the fingers so they face up. Extend at your wrist joint. That stretch through the bicep, through the arm. Take a full breath. Exhale, bring your head back to center. Bring your arm back up. And let them drop down. Give them a chance to shake out. Now, I don't know about you, already my arms are starting to feel really, really pumped. We have just one more strengthening exercise, and then you'll be ready to get into your yoga practice. So, nothing fancy, it's just chaturanga push-ups. So they can be done on either your knees, or if you're feeling good, you can come up onto your toes. But the hands are going to stack underneath your shoulders. The inner palm is going to be heavy, so the space between your index finger and thumb is where you want to put majority of your weight during your yoga practice. Wrap your biceps towards the front of the room. Again, if you're staying on knees, you just shuffle them back so they're behind the line of your hips. And if you're lifting the knees, we get nice and long, we flex the glutes, we pull the belly. We're going to go anywhere between 1 and 20, depending on how you're feeling. So take an inhale. Exhale, we go. 1, for 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep the elbows nice and close. 6, 7, 8 towards the ribs. 9, 10, 11, inner palm heavy. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Nice work. Find a seat. Any seat will do. Let the back of the hands just rest either side of the hips. Give the fingers a chance just to wiggle here. So your arms are absolutely ready to get into your yoga practice now. This is a practice you can revisit every time you need to, and you'll notice my heart is racing, I'm forgetting how to speak, so it will get the blood pumping really, really quickly, and it'll get it pumping exactly where we want it, from the shoulder joint all the way down towards the fingers. So save this video, give it a like, please subscribe, and if you have any comments or questions, leave them below and I'll get back to you. Get those arms pumped, and I'll see you again soon. Peace.